everybody, Dave from Clean Pro Supply. I want to talk a little bit about diversifying your service offering, especially during winter when a lot of businesses tend to slow down. If you're doing, residential carpet cleaning, one way to get away from that, of course, is to market a lot towards commercial, because commercial stays consistent throughout the year for the most part, as long as you have repeat clients. There's other services you could offer as well. The purpose here isn't to discuss what other services you can provide, but just the simple fact that diversifying your service offering is very beneficial to your business for a variety of reasons, some that you may not even think about. So the obvious is just to have multiple streams of income. For example, when you're doing real estate investments or stock investing, for like real estate investments, you're not going to just throw all your money into maybe one building. If you're doing commercial, you're going to have probably multiple buildings, or at least you have a plan to obtain multiple buildings or multiple areas or complexes. If you're in the stock market, you may diversify your investments in a wide variety of not just different stocks, but different types of stocks, because one category may go down, one company may go down. You don't want to lose your life savings or your retirement if that's where your money is, just because of that. So obviously, if one area does bad, the idea is that another area will be doing good or better or growing. So it stabilizes your investment. So from a business standpoint, as far as your day-to-day operations, if you're a small business owner aiming to become a larger business owner, or just in general, if it's just you with employees, that usually is your plan for retirement. You may not want to be cleaning until you're retired. Some people do, but if you have growth strategies so that you can get off the van or out of the van or out of the field, of course, then you have to create a strategy for your actual business itself. So why diversify your services? One, it's going to provide just multiple streams, like we just mentioned, multiple streams of income, so that, for example, when residential carpet cleaning may slow down during the winter, you still can keep your business busy. You're continuing the income throughout, the season, or down season for the winter. For residential, invest in maybe commercial carpet cleaning, or offer tile cleaning, or other services. Maybe restoration is something you want to do. But outside of the actual types of services you could provide, the obvious is the first reason to diversify, just to keep your business busy. So when one service may be slow, then maybe others will be busy. Another one is growth. Reason two is to grow your business. So maybe currently you are a owner-operator working by yourself, maybe with a helper. You may be really busy making decent money, but you want to do more, you want to grow more. But also, what happens if you get sick or you get hurt on the job? Your business stops. So what are you going to do? There's not a whole lot you can do. So diversifying your services will help you also gain more employees to be able to do those services. So it may be you in a tech, and then you hire someone else to help do something else. Maybe you're doing VCT or janitorial, or something. Maybe someone has some previous experience from another job that they can come in and provide those additional services to your business. And now they can run a separate van or truck. While you're out doing one thing, they're out doing something else, and then you keep expanding from there. So then you bring on, for example, like what we did, we started doing epoxy floor installations and concrete prep. Now we're also getting into concrete polishing. So different things you can provide, and as the business grows, you may feel like you're too busy, or you're going to get too busy if that happens. Well, quite frankly, as long as you have employees that you can train, or that your employees can train new employees, then you can continue offering new services, expand your business, have more employees that can run multiple crews at one time. And then maybe, for example, you get one big project. Now you've got the manpower to do that one big project. And then, when that big project is done, you go back to your daily grind of maybe having 3 or 4 crews on the road, and they're all doing different things. You may have a cleaning van, you may have a restoration truck, whatever you're doing. So that's option 2, just to help with your growth. Maybe also an employee calls in sick, and they're off for the day. Well, you have more employees that you can pull from. If you've got 10 employees, for example, and one is off for the day, well, you still have 9 working. So one off is not going to really impact your daily business a whole lot. Now, if you only have 1 employee and that person calls off, or maybe 2 employees and that person calls off, well, that's going to dramatically affect your daily business, because now you're going to get behind, because that's 50 or 33% of your workforce. So growth is, I guess, reason number 2 for diversifying your services. It'll help you grow faster. Also, as a new business, it'll just help you get business faster. If all you're doing is carpet cleaning, for example, you may not have 3 jobs a day, 5 days a week, right out of the gate. But by offering multiple services like stone polishing, doing maybe countertops or floors, or any other service that you might provide, auto detailing, a variety of different things. You're kind of well, you can get busy quicker. You're going to fill your calendar more because you're doing more services. You'll also get repeat business from your existing client base. So maybe you cleaned someone's carpet yesterday, and then today they're talking to one of their friends. Oh yeah, we got our carpets cleaned by Joe, and he also does epoxy floors for garages. So you said you wanted that done, right? Yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom! Now your network is growing with different services you provide, and you're getting a lot more referrals because you have a wider stretch of services that you offer. A third option that I feel like a lot of people overlook is how your employees view it. As business owners, we tend to focus a lot on what we're doing, how we can make money, how much money we're making. We want to have employee engagement and make our employees happy. We're not here to be friends, but we're here to have fun and support our families and earn a living, of course. I've been managing employees for about 15 years, and from my own personal experience and just articles that I've read, whether it be online or in books or magazines or whatever, the number one reason why employees leave their jobs, aside from getting fired or whatever, the one reason why they leave is because of their boss. What's that relationship like? You don't have to be their friend, but you have to be supportive. It has to be fun. It has to be engaging. They have to be, feel valued. Their input definitely matters. Asking them questions, because you're growing as a team. You're all there to work together as a team. So bringing this back to diversifying services, what does that have to do with employee engagement? Well, as an employee, humans love habit. We're creatures of habit, but coming to work every day knowing exactly what you're going to do every day, that's great. That's awesome. You'll become a master of your trade. But some people do like change. If you're cleaning carpet and nothing else, what can we do that's a little bit different just to make the day a little bit more exciting? Feel a little bit more motivated for the day. Well, offering some upsells, that may help. We're doing some tile cleaning today. We're doing some ductwork cleaning today. We're doing maybe a pool clean out. Some guys even do pool clean outs. Saw a video from Ron Papke doing sump pump clean out as an upsell. And actually that's what sparked this, my idea for doing this video as far as doing upsells versus diversified services. So doing different things throughout the day will help keep employees engaged. It creates a little bit of a different approach. They may not know exactly what they're walking into every day. And you have a morning meeting and say, hey, this is what you're doing today, this is what you're doing today, and you're talking to your employees, and they get more excited because they get to do different things. It's not the same every day. Although some people like the same things every day, it's still good to have a little bit of change and offer something different. So before I ramble on too much about that, how does that affect you as a business? Well, outside of naming all the different services we could provide and how it keeps your business busy and all the other benefits we just spoke about, if your employees are cross-trained in the different services that you offer, we mentioned earlier about maybe an employee calling in sick, that cross-training is motivating. It drives engagement for them because they know that they can be counted on or relied on, and they do matter, and their opinion matters, and that their work matters, and their quality of work matters. Also, for training purposes, as you hire new employees, maybe you have one person that's really good at training the new guys. Well, if he's cross-trained in multiple services, then maybe you're short someone for one area, or you want to grow an area more. That person can help train those people. But also, just the simple fact of having excitement, having change on the day or change on the job. Maybe you spend a week carpet cleaning, then a week doing concrete work, then a week doing some epoxy work, then a week doing stone cleaning or stone polishing or stone restoration. Not that you want to have too much going on to the point where everyone's just, their head is spinning, and they don't get a chance to become good at what they're doing because you're changing too much. I think that's a little bit on the far end of the spectrum, but definitely having a little bit of change in your daily routine is good, just to keep things exciting, because you may have an awesome employee, they've been with you for 5 years, but now they're just getting bored. Well, there's a cycle of engagement for employees and even for us as business owners. We don't want to get bored with what we're doing. We want to keep things exciting, keep things engaging, keep things moving, keep goals going. And so a good way to do that is to do different services just to break that habit of this doing the same thing day in and day out. With the number one reason of people leaving their job being their boss, the reason why I mentioned that is because the number two reason why people would leave their job is they just get bored or they want to try something new. They're not excited like they used to be. So how do you keep that spark going so that people stay excited about their jobs every day? And that's a real big reason, I think, why diversifying your services will help. So really those top three. I'm sure there's more. We can talk all day about different things that support your business and support your employees. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. Hopefully this video has helped some of you see kind of a different perspective aside from just the obvious of staying busy as a business owner, but from the employee perspective as well. I'd love to see feedback from people who are technicians or employees that may be in this group. I know some of my employees are in this group. Feel free to comment in this video. And anything that you have experienced working with me that you appreciate that might help other people as well. But we're always open to feedback, always open to questions, suggestions, whatever. We're all here to grow as business owners and technicians. We just want to support our families and have fun and all prosper. So if you have any questions, reach out anytime. Again, Dave from Clean Pro Supply. Hope everybody has a good day. Thank you.